Hello, and I hope you're well. As you know, I've already covered a couple of videos that will help to deal with how you can self-massage for neck pain and shoulder pain, also for lower back pain. We've looked at the hip, and I will be covering a couple more pathologies. But in light of recent events and things that are going on, one of the things that I wanted to share with you was how to use acupressure and facial trigger point moves to release tension, also reduce stress. But going forward, it's a really good way of dealing if you do suffer with some facial pathologies. And when we mean pathologies, it's a condition that you have that can cause basically a physical problem. So for example, if you have TMJ, which is temporomandibular joint syndrome, sometimes you can get a misalignment of the jaw, which can cause ear pain as well as any other issues. Sometimes as well, if you have a disc pathology, by doing some of these moves, it can release it. Chronic tension headache syndrome, or anything that deals with, especially around times of stress, but also in general, if you're doing a lot of computer work, the tension, you'll feel it building in the neck and going all the way up into the head, and then it comes round and it feels almost like someone's squeezing the top of your head, and then it can affect your eyes, concentration, and then bring on all of that tension. So what I want to share with you today is a couple of points that we're going to apply to the face, and I'll show you how to do it, which will take away some of that stress. Acupressure works on pressing into an area, so we have a focal point pressure. We also can bring in circular movements, and that actually stimulates the nerve ending to release the muscle tension and increase blood flow, and also what we call a gentle push to actually release the fascia of the muscle. This is also really good, and there's techniques that you can use which help with, of course, increasing blood flow, which helps collagen. So there's other benefits associated. But I'm here to really look at how can we reduce headaches, tension around this upper area. So I won't be able to see very well, but I won't need to. So what I'm going to show you first is when you're doing any facial work on yourself, when you're doing anything around the neck, it's really important that you start to regulate your own breath. Now the reason is, I'll show you why. If I'm sitting like this and I'm quite tense and I go to apply the pressure points, what I need to do is take the breath in, relax the shoulders down, because when we reduce the tension and relax the shoulders, we elongate the muscles and take some of that pressure off, just literally in the click of a fingers. So the first point that we're going to look at is applying it to around, and you most probably have heard of terminology, if you're into energy work, we call it the third eye. Okay, so we're going to take the finger, you can take the index finger, which is most people prefer to use that, and then you apply pressure. Okay, so it's just a little bit above where the eyebrows meet, and you're going to place that pressure. Now you'll feel it's going to be quite firm, so not to cause any discomfort, but just to create a sensation of pressure underneath the fingertips. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply pressure. You hold that there for 30 seconds and then you remove that. And it's always good as well for you to kind of move your fingers around, because when we apply trigger point to ourselves, sometimes even just holding your finger in one position can make the fingers ache. So you apply pressure, and then we're going to do circular movements, very slow, very controlled. And it's important that when you apply the pressure first, it's like automating that response to happen. So we apply the pressure and then we circle, and you're going to hold that and circle about 15 times one way and then 15 times the other. So what you're activating is all of the muscles that connect, all of the facial, just applying that pressure starts to get them released. And even by doing that, you may feel that the muscles either side of the jaw start to drop automatically. Okay. Now you can apply that for, you know, a good minute. Some people apply it for, you can just do the one move if you haven't got a lot of time, and you can leave that and apply that there wherever you feel comfortable. You know, we would say no longer than about 2 to 5 minutes, just when you're doing it on yourself. The reason being is you'll find that your arm can be quite heavy. Okay, so we've applied the pressure, we've released it. So 15 circles out, 15 circles the other way. Then we move to either side of the eyebrows, thumbs in, and what you do is you're going to apply pressure, and again for 30 seconds. Now if you find when you're doing this that your arms ache, sometimes you can lean forward and rest your arm so you're not putting any pressure loading through the shoulders when you're doing this, and then applying the pressure either side. 30 seconds and then release. And then you can apply what we would call just that little sensation, circular sensations, but it's important to maintain the same pressure. Okay, so when we've moved to these 2 points, the one that most of us are familiar with when we have headaches or we do a bit of self-massage is index fingers either side of the temples, the bony prominence areas, and again the key is to hold for 30 seconds first. So you might find yourself, oh gosh, I know I need to massage that, applying that. It's almost like you're setting the trigger point area. You're encouraging the muscle to relax as you take the finger away, so it's already working. And then again, applying the circular motion. Okay, and then you relax. While you're doing this, it's good to do it in a kind of a quiet environment as well, so you're allowing your body to relax down, as you already will feel the benefit by just doing those couple of points. Then, this is an important one for tension loading, so chronic tension headache syndrome, or if you've been on the PC for a long time, you can feel it in the tension loading across the eyes. So finger either side, relax the eyes down and push the eyebrows up and hold. You apply that for 30 seconds and then you release. You don't have to apply it for much longer on those areas, especially above here, okay? Because the fascia of the tissue, as you'll be aware, is a lot thinner, okay? And you'll be more aware of the bony prominence just underneath the eyebrows. So we're applying that trigger point and then we release. And you may find that you just want to kind of move your eyebrows a little bit, just to, because when you press up, it feels like they need a little bit of movement. Okay, moving on. So we're not going to look into sinus work or any facial draining work, because this is mainly looking at the points that are going to help with reducing the stress. Behind the ears, okay, and you're going to choose one ear to start off with. Right behind the ear, and where you've got your bony prominence, you're going to push in and you're going to push away. So that's from the centre of just behind the ear and away. And you're going to repeat that 15 times. Okay. And then you're going to release. You can hold the trigger point in the back there. Again, if you feel about it, it's very bony, so the prominence itself, when we're looking into this, we actually more of a sweeping the fascia away to release the pressure at the back of the skull. And then you can repeat that on the other side. Now when you're doing that, again, make sure that you're relaxing the shoulders as you're pushing that. It's almost like you're pushing the pressure away. It's important to do it in this order as well, but you can apply certain points. So this is the main one if you want a quick fix, and then the top ones that we've gone through: third eye, pull across, lift up, temples. Okay. The other point is inside the ear, Okay, so just at the top of the ear inside, where you kind of feel that kind of calcification in there. You're just going to hold that point, so it's like squeezing it in between your thumb and forefinger, and you're going to hold that for 30 seconds. Now the interesting thing is, and you can try this now, when you squeeze that point, you will feel, some people can feel like a draining sensation going back down the neck, where we're getting that sense of relaxation. And then relax. And it's always good as well to breathe in and release from that tension. We've covered this in the neck relaxation, but it's really nice to complete this sequence with taking the fingers up a little bit higher than what we did before, so right up into the occipitals, and push up. And again, you're going to repeat that 15 times, and you can do that at the same time. Because we're focusing on the head and also the relaxation techniques to do with stress, they are the key points. And you can finish off with holding it a little pressure point as well. The other ones that we would do is just a little pinch on the upper trapezius, so either side. It's kind of like you can either do it with one hand, so you'll feel you can literally lift that muscle up. It's like the ridge of muscle that comes over the top. You can pinch and lift up and release. Again, when you lift and pinch, 30 seconds is enough to get a certain response. Again, if we're doing treatments specifically for stress, tension, loading away from this area, then we would hold points a little bit longer. But it's a really good starting point. And then finally, and you might be surprised at this one, the area that you need to press, and you can do it any time, is the fleshy part in between the thumb and the forefinger. Hold that down, apply the pressure, and just hold it there for 30 seconds. And that sequence is a really good way of starting to help just bring your body into relaxation. But also, if you are suffering with any head tension, neck, facial stress, and sometimes we don't realise that we're holding the tension within our teeth. So by allowing ourselves to relax, by allowing the muscles to relax across the face and applying those pressures, all of a sudden you've got increased blood flow to the region, onto those nerve roots, and it will start to lower the stress. And you can do this, and we incorporate this as well into mindful practice. So mindfulness, which we hear a lot about, it's about being present in the now, but when you do focus attention mindfulness, by applying certain areas, it allows you to bring your focus to that area. When you do a body scan in mindfulness, you can also bring the attention to the area and almost talk yourself through it to relax the body. So I hope you found that helpful, and it will last you a little bit longer before you can have a treatment, but also going forward for you to use as and when you need it. Much kindness, take care, and look forward to seeing you soon.